Hi, I'm Aeon, and this is not my video for once.
Hello, Aeon. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you so much. How about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's great to be talking with you.
Thank you.
All
I was
right.
about to say same, but, the whole, introduction thing we did earlier was a little bit nice.
Yeah, of
But it's
course.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Aeon. So I'm going to be asking you some questions just about you, your past, your channel, all that kind of stuff. So let's get right into it, I guess, with the first
Awesome, my
question.
favorite thing, talking about myself. Let's go.
Of course. Who doesn't enjoy that? First question. When and where was your first experience with Geometry Dash?
Similar to, every person ever, my first interaction with Geometry Dash was in recess in school. I was in 8th grade in 2014.
Nice.
And my friends were like, hey, look at this video game. And then I played the game, and I kept playing for some reason. I don't know why, I just kind of did. It was fun.
Yeah. Similar for me. I don't know. I think it was actually my brother that told me about it when I was in 4th grade-ish. So, similar
Yeah.
experiences.
Well, originally my friend didn't want to tell any of us what it was called, but we just kind of kept pestering him about it, and then it just kind of blew up throughout our school. We all have that one kid in school who just is super early on every single trend.
It's true.
One of my friends was that kid, and he was just he was a month early on Flappy Bird, and then he was a month early on GD, and then everyone started playing both a month later because he just kind of introduced everyone to it, and then he just kind of wildfire,
Yeah. That was never me when I was in school. I was always way behind the loop on everything, but
Dude, I wish I was that cool as a kid. Being the trendsetter for everything, that'd be wild.
yeah, so much power, so much power.
He had way too much power. Kind of envy him.
All right. Next question. So, what do you think made you so drawn to the game when you first discovered it?
For me personally, it was just I was in the middle of developing my dubstep phase. It was a couple years after Skrillex blew up, so I liked the music.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about the short burst achievements. With other games, you have to spend a really long time to complete the games. With GD, it was just a continuous loop of just being able to have small achievements constantly. And I don't know, I think the main thing that kind of made me keep playing was I was the first person in my school to be Clutterfunk.
Ooh.
And back then there was no community shop, so unlocking a different ship than a default one was super insane, right? Because the only ones you could get was I think it was 500 stars, or beating X amount of demons, or it was beat Clutterfunk.
Yeah.
Came into school after I beat Clutterfunk and had a new ship, and people were like, oh my god, what the hell, you're so good in 13-year-old Norwegian speech.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know, it was kind of that was oh my god, I'm actually good at something that's new. Hello. Because I was typical YouTuber story time here. I was the outcast. Surprise.
Wow.
So actually being having people the popular kids during this fad talk to me was I don't know, rewarding in itself. And having those small burst rewards of beating levels was always fun.
Yeah.
I just kind of kept playing, and I was always drawn to demons because I don't know, it sounded cool. I beat a demon,
Oh my
That was
god.
insane. Sounds crazy.
For real. Yeah, I mean, Geometry Dash, just being good at it, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where people are like, you're good at that game, I could never beat Stereo Madness.
Yeah.
Next question. You were one of the best players in the early days of the game, beating levels that many people couldn't dream of beating. What did that mean to you at the time, and what does it mean to you now?
It didn't really mean much at the time. I kind of just played the game because I played the game. I was hyper focused on the game. I don't know why. I've never been diagnosed or anything, but it's somewhat of an autistic trait where you're just kind of hyper focused on stuff, special interest, right? And GD for me kind of just developed as a special interest. Not to say that I'm on the spectrum or anything. I really don't think I am. I've never been diagnosed. I've never even thought about it. But now that I'm starting to think about why I went the path that I did, I was just kind of hyper interested in GD, and I really enjoyed just playing levels. So I never thought of myself as a good player. I just thought that was the natural progression of how people played.
Yeah.
Because there weren't a lot of people who did YouTube back then, so it wasn't really easy to see people who were really good at the game like it is now. if someone pops up that's like really, really good, everyone knows about it. But there wasn't like a developed community for it yet. There were no Skype groups. There were no like group chats or anything. Playing GD was kind of like a you and only you thing.
Yeah.
Unless it was like GW or Jump to Dash World. It was the Korean forums.
Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of like I just kind of like enjoy playing the game, and I like beating levels. So it was more of a thing that came later, like back when I got into contact with like popular people like Alex Payne and stuff. And back when I became better friends with people like Riot, where they were like, "Oh, I used to look up to you because you uploaded their levels that no one else beat," and I was like, "Oh, that's sick. Hello." But that was like years later, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole me being good was like 2014 thing, and then I got to talk to Riot and stuff. Like I talked to Riot in 2014, 2015, but it wasn't until like 2016, 17 where they were like, "Oh yeah, you used to inspire me," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
I never really thought about it. Now the only thing it means to me is like, where would I be if I never stopped playing? But it's not something I really care much about. I'm just kind of like, I used to be good. I'm still a decently good player, and I've just been playing the game.
Yeah. I mean, just imagine like Riot looked up to you, like just the amount of people you inspired and like some of the greats you inspired.
Fun fact, the first video Riot ever uploaded to his YouTube channel with over 1,000 views was my level.
Wow, really? What level?
Yeah, it was Electrodynamics V2 that I posted before Neptune's V2. Suck it, Neptune. But that was like, he doesn't have a lot of those videos now. He doesn't have like his 1,000 replays or whatever from back on when it was on every play.
Yeah.
But his first video to get over 1,000 views, I think he got like 5K, which was a lot for that time.
Yeah.
Was him beating my new level, Electrodynamics V2, which was 8 stars.
Nice.
I think it's 8 stars. Probably.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, I think it's time to move on to the next question. Shout out to Neptune.
Yeah, thank you for making Deadly Clubs up.
Of course. Oh yeah, and that was another large milestone for you.
Yeah, especially like Electrodynamics V2 and Hexagon Force V2.
Yeah.
And Clubstep V2.
All right.
I think there was one person who beat Clubstep V2 before me, but I was first on Hexagon and Electrodynamics V2.
There you go. Let's see. All right. What compelled you to start your YouTube channel?
It was just to like, originally I didn't exactly plan on doing YouTube. That was like a later thought, but like making the YouTube channel as a whole was just like compiling video footage of the levels I'd beaten, because going around saying, "Hey, I beat this level," was like, "Oh, hacker," right?
Yeah.
Still today, like if someone claims that they've beaten like insert any extreme here without video footage, people immediately jump to them being a hacker. So it wasn't initially just me wanting to like log all of the things that I've beaten.
Yeah.
Just for like ease of access. I still have them. They're unlisted on my channel. I still have like, I think I have like 600 unlisted videos or some shit.
Sheesh.
But it was just a matter of, hey, I want to do this. And then I logged a bunch of stuff. And when it came to like starting like YouTube back in the day in 2017, when I came back, was a matter of, I used to be like a top 5 biggest GD channels thingy. I was at like 5K, 6K in 2014, which was like unheard of. That was back when like Darnock had like 10K, right?
Yeah.
So that was like a huge GD channel. And I had like a name. I knew I had a name. So I wanted to like get back into it. And I was like, hey, I've always wanted to do YouTube. Chugga Conroy is like my main inspiration for YouTube. He's always been like the guy that I've looked up to. And I was like, why don't I just try and make Geometry Dash commentary videos to see how it goes? I never intended for it to go very far. I just wanted to do it as like a hobby.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, the concept of making content has always been fun. I've always been pretty outspoken. I've never been like a shut-in almost. Like I've always been comfortable just speaking to people. One of those things where I'm like selectively introverted, where I don't fancy talking to a bunch of people all the time, and I don't fancy going out, but I have a very easy time just communicating and talking to people.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not try and translate it into YouTube? And then I was really fucking awkward for like the first like 15 videos, and then it started to get better. So it was basically just like, I wanted to get back into GD, and I wanted to like rebuild a name that I used to have now that the game is more popular. And I didn't want to just like upload replays like I used to. So I just tried something that I thought, hey, I wanted to try this for a while. Why not do it with GD?
There you go. And look how it's worked out now, right?
Dude, now it's all I do.
Never touch grass again.
No, I leave my house every day because I have a studio, so I'm forced to.
Oh
I don't have a
man.
choice.
Well, that's pretty tragic, but
It is, yeah. I wish I could just rot inside my room all day.
of course, as every GD player wishes, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Why did you take a break from the YouTube scene, and what motivated you to sort of revive your channel?
Okay, so very, very fun little real life backstory here. Short answer, I was just really fucking depressed.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm just like anyone who knew me personally back in like 2018, 19 knew that I was an absolute fucking shit show of a person for personal reasons that I'm not going to go into for obvious
Yeah,
reasons.
I mean,
But
obviously.
basically, I would just had a ton of shit to do in school. I had a ton of shit going on in real life that just kind of like messed me up. And I was like, you know what? Probably a bad idea to juggle school, living on my own at 18, and doing YouTube and streaming.
Hmm.
So I dropped YouTube and streaming, and then I spent a couple years working on myself, just trying to get into a better mental state, which worked. I just kind of like chilled, did my thing, and just hung out with my friends and just vibed.
Hmm.
And then I was like, I never wanted to quit YouTube, so I just pick it up again. Why not?
Yeah.
So it was more or less, it wasn't, it was voluntary. It was voluntary to stop doing YouTube, but it was like voluntary in the sense that I knew that I needed to stop, and then I picked it up again whenever I felt ready to pick it up again. It
Hmm.
was never I want to quit because I want to quit. It was I want to quit because I have to, for my own sake.
Hmm.
I've talked about that a lot on stream, where it was like I would have never stopped if I was in a good, better mental state, but having to stop for a while wasn't exactly a bad thing.
Yeah.
It was fine.
And I feel like that's one of the most important things about YouTube is you should only be doing YouTube when you are in the proper state for yourself, when you want to do YouTube, when you feel like able to do YouTube. Like if you're not able or if you don't want to, you shouldn't, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that goes for like anything really. I'm the kind of person. I've had a lot of discussions about this with people like EVW and my friends and stuff. Is that I'm the kind of person who doesn't like doing the same thing for way too long.
Hmm.
Uh, so part of my motivation now with YouTube is that I have like an expiration date. I know exactly when I'm going to stop. So that's kind of like motivation for me to just like make videos that I have fun with, because I know that I won't be doing this for the rest of my life. And I go about that philosophy with everything now,
Yeah.
where it's like, do things while you have fun with it and just chill, and then go about doing other things later.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And all right, next question. How does it feel to know that people within the community look up to you and your impact on the game and its players?
I don't know if this is gonna sound like I have a stick shoved up my ass, but it's nothing you actually like think about.
Hmm.
It's something that you think about directly if you're asked about it, or if you just have like a moment of free thought and you're just like, wow, that's a thing, right?
Hmm.
I've always done martial arts. It's one of the things that I've always been doing, and I used to be an instructor for it, and I never really thought about the impact I had on the kids that kept doing it. Like I have multiple former students that have gone on to be like really good. They're all black belts and stuff.
Hmm.
And it's not something that I think about, that, oh, my students became black belts and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And the same goes for GD. Is like when you're the person in question, it's not something that you really think about.
Hmm.
And part of that is, I think, for me at least, maybe it's different for others, is that I don't really think about myself a lot. So it's not really something that crosses my mind. It's not really about being self-absorbed, but I feel like if you consistently try and like think about what you've done for others and your impact on stuff, like how it feels to know certain things about yourself, I feel like it becomes kind of like not narcissistic,
Hmm.
but I have other things to think about other than myself.
Yeah.
So it's never a thought that crosses my mind. I just kind of like do my thing. Like I don't pay attention to my views. I don't pay attention to my viewership on stream or anything. I just kind of like in the moment
Yeah.
enjoy doing my thing, so people have fun with it then and there. But I never directly think about how it impacts anything really, or
Yeah.
people looking up to me. It's nothing. It's not a thing that I'm like. I don't know. I feel like it's weird to think about. Like the more you think about it, the more it's kind of like thinking about space.
Yeah.
Whereas like the more you think about it, the more fucked it gets.
True. Yeah, I mean, just it sounds like you just you tend to I don't know, it's hard to describe, but like you just think about what you're doing in the present moment and stuff rather than, the
Yeah.
impacts you've had and
And I
stuff.
like to think of what I do as more of self-fulfillment rather than making a difference.
Mhm.
So like I would obviously not to the same extent, because if I wouldn't be able to live off it, I wouldn't be able to live off it. But I'm the kind of person who like really enjoys doing stuff for X amount of time. Like I said earlier, I have an expiration date. I know exactly when I'm going to stop.
Mhm.
And it's because I like feeling that fulfillment in the moment. The impact that I have on others is not like, it's not even a consideration for me, really. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, I enjoy making people smile and making people laugh and stuff. But I do the things that I do because it makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Yeah.
And my accomplishments are the things that drive it, right?
Yeah.
That I feel like that sounds very stuck up, but it's like I don't know. I feel
No,
like if
no,
you
it makes
start thinking
sense.
about, I think if you start thinking too much about like how it impacts others, it's going to affect you more when you can't impact as many people as you maybe did once, right?
Yeah. And
Like if
I'm
your viewership goes down, if your average views go down, and so on, or if you like lose some massive chunk of your viewership just because of the fact that you've been doing it for a really long time,
mhm.
it will affect you negatively, and it's more about wow, I can't impact X amount of people instead of
Yeah.
it being I'm doing this because I have fun with it and I enjoy it and it makes me feel accomplished, right?
Yeah, and I think it's really a good thing to focus on YouTube as a personal venture as well because
Yeah,
once again, like I'm a small channel, right? I only have like 1,500 subs or so, and like I have a lot of other things going on in my life. I'm busy applying to colleges and things like that. Like
yeah,
for someone like you who has so many viewers and who like actually makes decent money from it, it might be hard to like think about sometimes that this is just all for it's not just all for you, but it's in the end it's you who runs the channel, it's you who makes the content, it's you who makes it for your own self-enjoyment. Sure, like all other people watch it, but in the end, like the YouTube channel is yours, right? You created it
yeah,
because you wanted to do something. And it's important not to lose sight of that because if you're not enjoying it, if it's impacting you negatively, then something needs to change, right?
for sure. And I think it kind of should be for yourself as well. Like everyone starts YouTube for like for their own venture. They want to do it
Hmm.
because it sounds like something that they think is fun. They
Yeah.
want to give a shot, right? And I think if you lose that sight when you grow bigger and you become a more popular channel and maybe even manage to live off it for a while, losing that self of I'm doing this because I wanted to try and I wanted to have fun with it for myself is
Hmm.
when you start becoming miserable with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next question is, what does Geometry Dash's history mean to you?
For me personally, it's more of I kind of look at it as like artistic history, where it's kind of like the Renaissance and all that shit, right?
Hmm.
There's like a development of time. I don't look so much at the individuals as much as I look at like how the game has like evolved as like an artistic medium, as well as like challenge, in the sense kind of like speedrunning history,
Hmm.
like summoning salt stuff. Whereas like GD for me is more of a double-sided venture of artistic expression and self-challenge and the goal of improvement.
Hmm.
So I don't really look at GD history and I'm like, wow, this person was super important. I'm more of a this piece of the game was super important.
Hmm. Yeah, like the early styles and just
Yeah,
how gameplay and style and stuff has changed over time.
exactly.
Hmm.
It's like it's kind of like I think if you view the game as a game and not the people involved with it, I think the game itself is just like a very interesting piece of like internet lore almost,
Yeah.
which is like viewing as it evolved from Demon Park to stuff like White Space or all that stuff, right? Whereas like the development of artistic expression is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question is, what is your proudest achievement in GD? And that doesn't necessarily mean a level completion, it could be anything really.
I think it's just fun to have created a place where a lot of people can just talk and have fun. A lot of the I've had my Discord servers in like 2018, and there's a lot of people who joined in 2018 who are still active, who have made like a primary part of their friend group within the server's walls, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I view my Discord server and like my channel is very separate, whereas like the Discord is more of a community hub surrounding just what I do. It's kind of like an offline chat to my stream, and it's cool to see people just engage with each other and become good friends.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything in the game in particular that I'm like super proud of, just because I don't know. I feel like it's kind of materialistic to be like, oh, this particular level of completion or this thing that I achieved is like super cool. But I enjoyed the community that I've created for sure. I think that's definitely the thing that I'm the most proud of, just cultivating a cool community that I'm very active in. Like I talked about this in my server yesterday actually, where it's like I think the biggest proof that you have created and cultivated a good community as like a public figure is if you're willing to sit down and talk there yourself. Because there are so many bigger YouTubers and content creators who just never interact in their servers because it's a shithole.
Yeah.
And I am the #1 chatter in my server. I am the highest level on Me6, and I have like 120,000 messages. It's a good place.
Yeah.
And I think being able to create a place that I'm actually willing to talk to myself is probably the best achievement I have in the game, even though it's not the game.
Yeah, I think cultivating a good community that's like, you know, just a community full of good people who are kind to each other, you know, just kind to themselves, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
All right. What are your future plans or goals?
Obviously my next future plan, well, obviously first is Nutra. I want to beat Nutra. January, I have the whole try and beat 1,000 demons in a month. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
As for goals, other than that, is just I want to beat 250 of each demon difficulty, so 250 easy, 250 medium, hard, insane, and extremes. I think that's a cool thing. Part of the reason why I don't really have any like proud achievements in the sense of level completions is because I don't view singular completions as important. I view like a cultivation of a bunch of completions as cool and important. Like none of my goals is beating specific levels. My goals are just like a collection of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Like beating 1,000 demons in a month. That sounds really fucking cool, right? And there's like a limited amount of time before I can't do that anymore because I've just beaten too many levels. So that's a thing. And then of course the 250 of each demon difficulty just sounds like a cool achievement. I think there's one person who's close to it. I don't think there's anyone who's done it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I think Leah, one of the GDDP mods is close. I think he's like 20 extremes away or something. And there's like, I don't know, 15 people in the world who has 100 of each difficulty. So hitting 250 of each is going to be really cool.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Other than that, I want to hit 1,000 videos on my channel. I want to have 1,000 edited videos. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, not really. I feel like I'm running out of things I really want to do in GD. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of why I have the whole like deadline or expiration date, is because when I run out of things that I really want to do, I don't have any motivation. So move on to different ventures in my life because I'm not gonna play GD until I'm 70. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, maybe, I hate to say, maybe with 2.2 there'll be new things because we know it's never going to come out at this point.
Probably. But I don't think there's going to be so many things added to where it's going to be possible to like create whole new like year-long projects. Like the 250 of each difficulty is going to take a while. I have 130 extremes and 120 insanes or something. Beating 100 plus of each more difficult is like at least 2 years, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
It's not like it's something that I'm going to be done with soon.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while. So it's not like I'm running short on time or anything. I have a bunch of stuff left to do. Yeah. I want to have, I also have like, I want to have like a top 50 hardest levels I've beaten that I'm like super proud of.
Understand.
And there are a few levels still that I need to like put into it. Is like my top 15 currently, in my own opinion, is like super fucking awesome. Very happy with that.
Yeah.
So a top 50 that I'm proud of as well. Like creating a top 50 hardest completions for myself is like really fucking cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Next question. What does your community mean to you?
I mean, I talked about my Discord server earlier. I really like my community. I think it's a fun place, and it's just a place where people can just make friends. For me, it's a very important part of it is like I'm infamously in very few Discord servers. Like the general GD community, I just do not engage with whatsoever. I do not engage outside my own like sphere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the official GD server. I deactivated my Twitter a while back, but that's mostly because of Twitter just becoming a shit show.
Yeah,
And I just don't
understandable.
engage outside my own like realm. So for me, the community is like very important. It's the only reason I've bothered to stick with GD, honestly.
Yeah.
But not being like, or I enjoy my community in the sense that if it wasn't for the fact that I enjoyed my community, I also feel like I would have been able to just move on. This is something I don't know. I'm like, I like philosophy. I think philosophy is cool, and I think acceptance is like an important thing to like have like like an internal dialogue about. And it's like stuff like accepting like things that are going to happen eventually. And one of the things that I've always accepted is that if my channel gets deleted or demonetized or something, I'm not going to be fuzzed about it. Like I'm always going to try and fix it. But the same goes for my community, is that if my community either turns to shit or my community becomes something I'm dissatisfied with, I'm satisfied with what it was and what I have accomplished with it.
Yeah.
So I'm just able to like move on. And now I'm very happy with my community, and it's something that I will always look back on and be prideful of. And I think that's like the most important thing about it.
Yeah.
Having made something that I'm proud of.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not proud of what you have made, then you have still room for improvement. And when you feel satisfied and contentment with what you've created, then you're good to go, right? And I've hit that point with my community now. The acceptance part of it having been amazing and still is amazing is satisfying. I don't know. There's something about being very satisfied about something that you've done.
Yeah.
And just being willing to be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm satisfied no matter what happens with it from now on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Last two questions here. What is your go-to hobby outside of Geometry Dash?
Would you believe it if I said it was playing video games?
I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe I could.
That's one of them. I got my hands on a PS5 recently, so I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars. Gonna be playing the new God of War as well.
Nice.
I collect Pokemon cards. It's been like a thing on my channel, like gag every now and then. Whenever a new set comes out, I'll open packs on the stream and I'll include it in a video if I'm recording something that day.
That's
and
really...
I do martial arts. I've been doing Taekwondo since 2010. So those are like my three main things.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm like a coffee drinker, hang out with my friends, you know, the usual.
Yeah.
I'm 20-something odd years old and a dude living my own life. And the usual shit. You work your hours, do your stuff. So there's like not a bunch of stuff, but just like things that I found enjoyment in that I just do. There's like 4 things. But those 4 things bring me happiness, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. What is one fun fact the community should know about you?
I'm not as short as I seem. I get this comment all the fucking time. I don't understand where it came from, but everyone assumes I'm 5'3" or some shit. I'm not. I'm not short. Stop spreading misinformation.
Wait, how tall are you? Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
I haven't measured in a while, but my Taekwondo suit is made for people who are 180, which is 6 foot. It's too small.
Okay, so
So I'm like bordering 6'1". I'm probably 6'1".
You know, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, that I thought you were short too.
I'm a much bigger guy than people expect me to be. Like I'm like powerfully built as well. I'm Norwegian. I have Viking build. I'm like near 200 pounds as well. Like I'm a huge guy.
Yeah. Honestly, that's pretty wacky. That is a fun fact. I did not know that.
Other fun fact, contrary to popular belief, GD is not my favorite game.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've always said GD is like far from my favorite game. I just enjoy the game because it's endless. Endless games are easy to play because they're endless.
Yeah. What is then?
My 3 favorite games are all the same franchise. It's the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise.
Oh yeah,
I picked up on it in 2014. And I've been 2015, sorry. And I've loved it since. I'm a huge Xenoblade guy.
Very cool.
Zelda as well. Profile picture probably gave that away though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. All right. Well, that is all the questions. So I think that's a good place to end off. So Aeon,
Awesome.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for joining me. Your link. is
problem.
in the description below. So go subscribe to Aeon, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course.